In this series of mentoring moments, we're talking about you being unique. You being uniquely you, the person that God made you to be, and the beauty of combining that with being in the place and the work that God called you to do. When those two things combine, it's beautiful and it's powerful. It's actually a hard place to stay in because there's so many challenges and demands and opinions from other people. So we have to, in a sense, kind of keep our balance through life, trying to maintain this tension between what's expected of me and who I am. So knowing who I am and understanding what God's called me to do is a critical piece that I can bring to every situation. So we're trying to help you find that place and live in it. I want to talk today about the importance of your willingness to take risk to grow. Your willingness to take risk to grow. Howard Hendricks, a great Bible teacher at the Dallas Theological Seminary, told his students, I'm not worried about you doing the things that are good in life. I'm sure you will. What he said was, I'm concerned you might not do the best things in life. I think behind that quote from him was the idea that sometimes we can settle in a place that becomes comfortable for us. And we all want comfort, right? But I want you to think about life not as consumption, what you can get out of it, but about contribution. How can you make the best contribution in the years that we live? And none of us know how long we're going to have. And so how can we be our best? How can we reach for the best? How can we have risk to grow? And I'll share just something from my own life, that in my life, I'm willing to take some risk. And sometimes my congregation or my wife, Belinda, who I love very much, and God gave her to me, and we're a really important complement to each other. But sometimes I wanted to take a bigger risk and other people wanted me to take a smaller risk. And then they would often talk me off the ledge and I would come down and do the things that kind of the group wanted us to do. And then I would wonder, but what if we went for the gold? What if we went to grab the highest ring? What could happen there? And what I found in myself was, I hate to admit this, like a little bit of a I don't want to fail mentality. And so it was easier if people were saying, hey, we should do this. Like, okay, let's do that. Let's make that the best thing that we can do. And I found myself settling at times for things I really felt like we should do. And as I began to kind of peel that back a little bit, the thing that was disturbing to me is the reality that I didn't want to fail. That sometimes I felt like I was failing just trying to maintain, like how could I even begin to imagine we might try to step up here? But God began to deal with me with my aversion to failure. And he began to question me, why are you afraid to fail? And who's defining failure anyway? What does it really mean to fail? Why wouldn't you try? He began to reverse that question, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? If God, who can do anything and accomplish whatever he wants to accomplish in your life, if he would allow you to do something that was like a high achievement to accomplish something for his glory. I'm not talking about selfish things. I'm not talking about sinful things. But if there's something that God wants to do that's bigger than you can imagine, why not go for it? Let him do it. And I learned this concept that I love and I want to share with you today. The onus is on God to get you where he wants you to go for your life. The onus is not on you. He made you. He called you. He placed you. And the onus is on God as the leader, the coach, to get you where he wants you to be. And he's really good at that. Okay. He's undefeated. He never fails. If you cooperate with him and if you let him work inside of you and allow him to make the changes that he wants to make, and you cooperate with the process around you and the people around you, God can do amazing things, but the onus is on him. So I began to be less afraid of whatever we might call success or failure. Those are really relative anyway. Like it's sometimes superficial, whether we think something is a success or a failure. We may have assigned certain goals. It might not even be the goals that God has in mind. Maybe God wants to work on character. Maybe God wants to develop humility. Maybe God wants to attack pride or something like. God may have a completely different purpose in leading us down the path that he leads us. Sometimes he allows us to be sick, and in our sickness, other people see the power of God in us. Or there's so many things that God is up to. But if we would begin to have more confidence in him as a leader, and we just think about every day, like, I wake up this way and think most days in my life now, what if I can just put my hand into the hand of my Father? What if I can be like a child who thinks of, Jesus would call the Father Abba sometimes, which is a Hebrew idiom. It's a term of endearment. It's like saying daddy. So Jesus would call his Father Daddy. What if I can think of every day waking up like I'm a dearly loved son, I'm putting my hand into the hand of my Father to be about my Father's business? And what if I couldn't fail in the things I was trying to do? What if I thought everything I'm going to trust God for and try for, he's going to be there. He's the safety net. Like if I'm off, he'll correct me. If we need more help, he'll send it. Like, I believe that God wants to partner with his people. Sometimes we think, oh God, if I could just find what you want me to do and I could go do that, everything would be great. And what if God would turn it around and say to you, well, what do you want to do? Like, I made you uniquely. I called you. I placed you. I gifted you. What do you want to do? Because if you want to do it and it's not sin and it's not selfish, like, I'll help you do that. What if God would turn it around? And if that would be the case, why wouldn't you go for the gold? Why wouldn't you take that risk? Why wouldn't you try to find that amount of money to do that project? It just changes the way that we think when we think this way. So I want to encourage you. Believe that God called you, made you, loves you. He's wild and crazy about you. He thinks you're the best. And he's trusting you with this opportunity like a partner. He's made you a partner in this opportunity of life. And he's inviting you to trust him. He's a big God. He doesn't fail. Why not go for the gold?